Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen. Guys, this is the channel that brings you your team every single day. It brings you your daily Rangers news update, as well as obviously breaking news videos, podcasts, live streams, just player videos, shorts, just every sort of content you can think of on Glasgow Rangers. This is the place to come to. This is the channel to come to. And if you want that team every single day, you want to know about Rangers, then hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and give this video a like, guys. Obviously, we are over 1,000 subs now. Absolutely fantastic, the support that we've had from you, and I cannot thank you enough. Also, scrolling on the bottom of the screen are all the other places on social media. You will find Glasgow Rangers Nation on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Our email address is there. You can buy us a coffee, whatever you want, guys. We're here. We're here for you. Anyway, let's talk, obviously, first of all, obviously reflect on that fantastic victory at the weekend for Rangers over old firm rivals. Celtic, a 3-0 victory at Ibrox, and we've heard it all from the Celtic fans. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It was our B team. It was our reserves. Well done for winning the doesn't matter trophy. Guys, shut up. Seriously, man. It's just ridiculous now. At the end of the day, we've got so many injuries at Rangers, and to say that, that they use that as an excuse. Obviously, the Cameron Carter-Vickers was missing, and Alistair Johnson was missing, and so on and so forth. It's just rubbish, the fact that we didn't have a number 9 yesterday, the fact that obviously, first choice centre half is out, the fact that realistically, I know McCrory was brilliant, but he's like technically our third choice goalkeeper. The fact that obviously, we haven't got any proper out and out wingers. Ryan Kent is technically off. I know he's been rubbish this season, but he's still the first choice winger. So I think Celtic just need to get a life, and they need to realise that they're being beaten. They're being beaten by the better team. And I think what it is that's getting to them is not the fact that obviously, yes, they are going to win the treble this season, and congratulations to them for that, through gritted teeth. But what it is, I think, is the fact that, it lays down a marker, doesn't it? It shows that we can beat them, that we are capable of beating them, and that we are only going to get stronger over the summer. Obviously, there is going to be a redevelopment over the summer of this team. New players we've brought in, some of the younger players will be brought through, and I think this team will be even stronger. Michael Beale is a very tactically astute coach, and I think obviously given us summer to bring in the players that he wants to suit his system, it's going to put us in a position where we will really challenge them, and I think overtake them in the long run. Well, let's obviously reflect a little bit about that game with John Souttar. John Souttar, who came into the team for the injured Ben Davies, and I think was by far the better player than Ben Davies. Davies, I think for me, is a little bit lightweight. Souttar, I thought yesterday showed, exactly what he is. He is a quality defender, and I think someone who can go on to have a very successful Rangers career. Yes, he's had his share of injuries this year and his trials and tribulations in his first season at Ibrox, but I thought he had an excellent game against Celtic on Saturday. Really did play exceptionally well. Souttar said after the game, he said, "I enjoyed that. It's been a frustrating season for myself and the team. So to get that goal was a big moment for myself and Rangers." Obviously, Souttar scoring from that James Tavernier corner. A fantastic finish from Souttar with that falling away header, diving header. Call it what you want. He said it was a good feeling to score. That's why you play football, to score big goals like that. Thankfully, I managed to do it today because of all the frustration. It just adds to how much it means. He said, when you've been out for so long, you dream of moments like that. That's what keeps you going in football. That's why you keep working hard. He said it was a huge game for everyone in that dressing room today, and there'll be a lot of changes in the summer. The manager has already said that. So, it's clear the players, obviously, this is my words, not his, realise that there are changes coming and there will be new players coming in and players going out. He said, so everyone had a point to prove today, individually and collectively. I think you saw that today, whether you started or came off the bench. It was 11 boys with a point to prove. That has to be a glimpse into the future for Rangers under this manager. You don't want to look too much at the result. It was obviously massive, but it has to be a glimpse into the future. This season hasn't been good enough. We all know that. Next year has to be a lot better. I think it's clear the players realise that. The players realise this season hasn't been up to muster. This season hasn't been of the standard we expect at Glasgow Rangers. And John Souttar coming out and saying that, and, knowing that there's players out there with their point to prove. Yes, we know, obviously, no Morelos, no Kent, no McGregor. On Saturday, those guys are gone, and we know that. We know Morelos is going. Michael Beale said that. We know that McGregor's going now. He kind of said that, didn't he, in that interview that he gave where he answered the question about Robbie McCrory. And we know that Ryan Kent is off as well. Souttar talked about the atmosphere as well. He said the atmosphere was electric today and that helped the players. The way we started the game helped with that. We were on the front foot and aggressive. The crowd came with us. It showed that if we play like that, they'll follow us. When they do that, it's massive for us. I feel like I'm slowly getting back to my best. It's always difficult when you don't have that pre-season behind you. I think, again, that's true. We've got to take that. Obviously, Souttar is getting stronger game by game because he hasn't had a pre-season. I think the whole squad really suffered from a fact they didn't get a proper pre-season, a chance to really get fit. Souttar went on to say, I've done a lot of work in the gym and training ground with the staff to get myself back to a level where I can perform at my best, to the best of my ability. It's my third or fourth start since I came back, so it'll take time, but it felt good. At the time, when I was asked how I felt after this game at Celtic Park, I said it was about how I reacted. There will always be moments like that in football when you think the world is going to end, but it's important you stay in the middle. Whether it's good or bad, there'll be difficult moments, and it's about how you bounce back. The feeling now is obviously a lot better to what I'd experienced at Parkhead. And, it's nice to hear John Souttar talking like that, isn't it? Very positive for the future, talking about the fact that there is change coming, talking about the fact that he himself is seeing improvement in his game. And I think, we have all seen improvement in John Souttar's game, since he's come back into the team and he's got himself more fit. And I know one of the concerns was about him playing on the left side of the defence after a dodgy performance against Livingston. But again, you've got to counter that with the fact that it's taking time for him to get back and fit, fully match fit and fully ready to go. And I think now we're seeing the best of John Souttar. And as Michael Beale said himself at the weekend, this John Souttar, a fully fit, fully firing John Souttar, is someone who is capable of even representing the national team. He is a very, very talented player indeed. Certainly someone who I think could save Rangers an awful lot of money. Yes, I do think we still need a centre-back, but it could be that Souttar is that starting centre-back. And yes, I know that starting alongside Connor Goldson, and I know Goldson has some doubters amongst the Rangers fans, but Goldson is the communicator, the organiser back there. And I think whoever's alongside him really does benefit from having Goldson there to organise that back four. He's the shouter. He's the guy who kind of controls what goes on back there. I know Tav is the captain, but I think in terms of back four organisation, it is very much left to Connor Goldson. I think obviously Souttar benefited from that on Saturday with his exceptional performance, obviously. Okay, so let's move on to this man. There's a lot of time talking about this guy here. This is Luis Palma, who I've talked about in the last couple of videos. I talked about what the Greek transfer expert had to say yesterday as regards Luis Palma. According to a lot of the media, it kind of is a real thing, I think, where he is. Michael Beale is really pushing now to bring in this guy for £4 million, according to the media today. It's been reported on numerous sites. It really does seem that Beale has a real drive and desire to bring in, obviously, now and firm up the deals for the likes of Dujon Sterling, for the likes of Kieran Dowell, and now Luis Palma, as he seeks to sort of get this squad in place ready for those Champions League qualifiers when they come in June, July time. He wants the team bedded in. He wants the team together and focused, ready to go. When these qualifiers come up, they're going to be very early season games, an opportunity for these new signings to bed in and really show what we've got. It does seem that Palma is definitely on his radar from what has been reported this morning in numerous media sources. So, good news that Beale does very much seem to be looking at bringing in new talent and bringing in good quality new talent. I mean, this guy is wanted by 10 other clubs, well, 9 other clubs if you don't include Rangers, across Europe, including the likes of Anderlecht. So, he obviously is a very talented player who's had rave reviews in the Greek league this year. And I know, obviously, you've got to counter that with the fact that it's the Greek league, but he has played well against the Panathinaikoses, the AEK Athens, and the Olympiakoses in Greece, who are the top level teams in that league. So fair play to Luis Palma. And, if he comes to Ibrox, if he can play as well as I've seen and what I've seen of his tape, then I think he will be an excellent acquisition for the team, alongside, obviously, any other acquisitions that we make. And it certainly looks like Dujon Sterling and Kieran Dowell are 2 other signings that will be incoming this summer very early. And again, I think 2 very high-quality players. Certainly Kieran Dowell has been talked about in very favourably by the Norwich City supporters and Everton as well, who've ex-Everton, Everton fans, that have seen him play when he played for Everton. A very high quality player indeed. Um, Obviously, two young players who got some minutes on Saturday were Zach Lovelace and Alex Lowry. Now, this young man here, 16-year-old Bailey Rice, was a real standout in the B team game in that unfortunate penalty loss to Celtic. Now, many people feel that Bailey Rice has more than earned his opportunity to get some first team minutes going into the end of the season. Obviously, Rangers have only got these games left now against Hibs, Hearts, and St Mirren. And many people feel that with the fact that obviously there's nothing left to play for now, we've beaten Celtic in the Old Firm game. It does sound good, doesn't it, saying that? That players like Bailey Rice could be given minutes and opportunities to impress. It was nice to see Lovelace get on and get some minutes. It was nice to see Lowry get on and get some minutes on Saturday against our Old Firm rivals. But Bailey Rice, like I said, he's only 16 years old. He did come through Motherwell's youth system and was brought to our academy in 2022. He has made one senior appearance. But he is an exceptionally talented young man. And I would certainly like to see Bailey Rice given an opportunity to at least come off the bench in these last two games, actually get some first team minutes and not just sit on the bench, which he has done this season on a few occasions. Bailey Rice is a very talented player. I think someone who has a golden future at Ibrox. Certainly in that Youth Cup final the other day, it was him and Zach Lovelace who were by far the most impressive players for Rangers. So it would be nice to see Bailey Rice get on and get some minutes for the club. I think it would stand him in good stead, especially, you're going towards the end of the season in games that theoretically don't mean anything. And I know that when you play for Rangers, every game means something. Yeah, I know that. I would love to be out there. I'd fight to have my jersey, to have that jersey on and go out and play. Of course I would. But certainly in these last few games, it'd be nice to see, obviously, the likes of Bailey Rice get a few first team minutes and show what he can do and see if he is capable of making that step up. Because if he is someone who, even at 16 years old, is good enough. I mean, there's a saying, isn't it? If you're good enough, you're old enough. And I think that's very true. It doesn't really matter in this modern football era, does it, how old players are? Some teams around the world do use young players. Leipzig, for example, Sunderland in the Championship very much sent their teams around young players. And if their young player is good enough, then they need to play, no matter how old they are. Bailey Rice, obviously, I think it's time we see what we've got in Bailey Rice and give him some minutes against Hearts, against Hibs, and against St Mirren. And it may be that this guy is someone who can come into the first team squad next year and play a significant role. So I would love to see Bailey getting some time. Okay, final thing to talk about this morning. Congratulations to Rangers women's team who won 6-0 on Sunday against Hearts. In match day 9 of 10 in the split that's come in the women's game. Goals from McLean, Hay, Howard, hat-trick from Thompson, and Bell with a penalty. That fine victory for Rangers women puts them second in the table, only 2 points behind Glasgow City, level on points with Old Firm rivals Celtic. Rangers have a superior goal difference to their rivals. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? 111 goals for Glasgow City, 111 for Rangers, 113 for Celtic. Rangers women have only conceded 8 goals. I mean, that is absolutely incredible for me. Their goal difference is plus 103. Celtics is plus 102. Glasgow City's is 93. Now, what is interesting, obviously, is that Rangers, who are 2 points behind leaders Glasgow City, face Glasgow City at Ibrox in the final league game on Sunday. Celtic play Hearts. If Rangers women can beat Glasgow City and better Celtic's result and keep that goal difference in their favour, then Rangers women will retain their league title. So we certainly wish them all the very best for that game on Sunday. Hopefully they can bring at least one league title to Ibrox, which would be fantastic. Obviously for the women to do that, and I really do wish them all the very best. And obviously, if you can't get along to the Hibs game, 4:30, I think it is, at Ibrox. Tickets are very cheap. Get along there, support the Rangers women, get behind them as they fight for that league title on the last day of the season. It'd be certainly fantastic if they can bring that home. Well, guys, that's your news for this morning. As always, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. Keep up to date, guys. We will be here daily speaking to you, obviously bringing you any stories as well that break in later in the day. Trying to bring you some podcasts this week. I'm just working on scheduling those, talking to Victoria as regards times, dates, trying to get some guests on as well. I'm working on that, working on bringing some guests on to the podcast. Well, thank you so much again for watching. And as always, guys, please keep coming back. Please hit that like. And if you like the content, hit the sub, ring the notification bell. And to check us out on social media, scroll on the bottom of the screen. It'll also be on the final titles too. We are the people. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you again soon here on Glasgow Rangers Nation.